Yeah, good morning, all good. Nice cuppa. Yeah, the challenges of football return to club football after the international break. The post-international break period remains one of the most unpredictable phases in club football. Fatigue, injuries, disruptive momentum, and psychological factors all contribute to the intriguing results we often witness. International breaks are a crucial part of modern football calendar, allowing players to represent their countries in friendlies, qualifiers, or major tournaments. However, football as a transition back to club football after international break can present several challenges. These hurdles can affect the physical and mental readiness as well as their overall performance. So let's take a look at some of the challenges players face during this period. So you got physical fatigue. One of the most significant challenges for footballers return to club football is physical fatigue. During international duty, players often have to travel long distances to represent their national team, sometimes participating in multiple high-intensity matches within a short span. The rigorous schedule can take its toll on their bodies, leaving them physically drained. When they return to their clubs, this fatigue may affect their training sessions, match sharpness, and ability to perform at their peak. You've got jet lag and travel exhaustion, so you could be traveling across the other side of the world, essentially for players representing countries from far from their club base. Jet lag and the strain of long haul flights can adjust sleep. It can disrupt sleep patterns and energy levels. Adjusting to different time zones and climates can further compound the problem, making it challenging for players to quickly reintegrate into the rhythm of club football. So you could be traveling, across the other side of the world to somewhere where it's sort of the middle of summer, and it could be middle of winter, for example, in Europe, and you've got the time zone, you've got the heat, you've got the it might be 11 hours difference in time, for example. So that's just some examples. So risk of injuries, players, also international fixtures. You could make a case that people might debate this, but you can make a case that increase the risk of injury of players when you take all the things in consideration: the travel and the fixtures, the intensity. With many games being played in that condensed time frame, combined with all the physical demands of travel, limited recovery periods, players that you could argue more susceptible to muscle strains and overuse injuries. Returning to their clubs with an injury can disrupt team plans and force players to spend time in sidelines. Tactical adjustments, we can't overlook that. Club and international teams often employ different tactical systems. Think about the team that you support, what formation they generally play. When the players go off to international duty, what formations they play. Is it different playing style? They might need to adapt from the tactical demands of the national team to those of their clubs. The transition can be particularly challenging for players who are an integral part of both setups. They might have a different role for one team and a different role for another team, as they seemingly got to switch between roles and responsibilities. Mental fatigue and pressure is a big one too. Representing one's country comes with immense pride, but also significance in pressure. For some players, the weight of expectation, an emotional toll of high stakes international matches result in mental fatigue. Additionally, players who underperform face criticism during international duty may return to their clubs feeling demoralised, which can affect their confidence and mindset. Let's say, for example, let's take the example: a player goes off on international duty. They don't make the World Cup. They're going to come back probably demoralised, or they make the World Cup, they might come back elated, or they might be struggling for form internationally. So all these sort of things, they come back in that sort of mindset. Team dynamic competition, return from international duty often means reintegrating into a club squad that may have been trained together in the absence. So you got the players who generally get left behind. They might not go to international football, albeit you could argue this day and age most players do. In the top clubs play for various international teams, but the ones who stay there, it creates a bit of a challenge, team chemistry back into it. If they've missed key tactical preparations, for example, say the players are all getting back and the games on the weekend, it's getting closer and closer. The intense competition for spots also could be an opportunity for players that don't generally get selected too. So players return later and their teammates might find it harder sometimes. They might lose their spot in the starting 11. Tight scheduling. International breaks are typically followed by a packed club football schedule with league games, domestic cup competitions, European competitions. Look at the moment. You've got some of the clubs are involved in domestic cups, in European competitions. They're obviously chasing the league. So returning to national duty, often little time to rest before being thrust back into club action, increase in risk of burnout. Cultural and environmental also for players who travel into vastly different regions for international matches. Return to their club environment can be a cultural, environmental adjustment again. Difference in climate, altitude, or even dietary habits can affect their recovery and performance. So, I mean, people say, what strategies? And like I said before, I'm not here to give you advice. It's just a few of my ideas. I'm sure that, various professionals have their own ideas. But I suppose to mitigate these challenges, the club and players can employ various strategies, monitor the players, workload closely, watching what their workload is, providing tailored recovery plans and medical support, obviously, upon their return. Managers also can retake the squad to give returning internationals time to recover. And you see that sometimes if they're away for a long period of time for a major tournament when they come back. You obviously got the role of sports psychologists in the team. They can help players manage mental fatigue and maintain focus as well. Additionally, advancements in sports science and technology have made it easier to monitor travel-induced issues like jet lag and fatigue. But I suppose in summary, while international breaks are an integral part of a footballer's career, returning to club football comes with its own challenges: physical fatigue, travel demands, tackle adjustments, and mental pressures are just some of the hurdles players must overcome. By understanding these challenges and addressing them proactively, clubs and players can ensure smoother transition and maintain high performance levels throughout the season. So I'll be interested to see this weekend. We've had international break now, so keep an eye on your team and let's see if there's any shock results, surprising results.